I will just take you through a test farm and show you around over there. All right, hope you can see my screen. Yeah, we're streaming. All right. So you're a new farmer. You've just hopped on to the farm over here. Obviously, you have already done the onboarding that happens. It's a very helpful thing for you to understand how to deploy your assets, and whenever you go to a new screen, there's another onboarding process over there that guides you through the whole thing. But yeah, this is a already set up farm, and I am assuming that you already have set up your farm, and you're probably in your trial pack, or you're just done with your trial pack. So if you've not done that already, and you're still yet to sign up, please use the referral code. Hop onto the community. There are a lot of players out there. Take a referral code because it helps you win rewards and also helps other people win rewards. We have a great referral system going on where you can win CBXPs as you grow. So never forget to get a referral code before getting started. And about the trial pack that you receive, it's a great way to understand the gameplay getting started, like, and all the produce that comes from this asset is not taken away from you. This will still remain on your farm after the 7-day trial pack is done. So it'll help you with your farm getting started. So that's with the trial pack. And before we go into the other aspects of the gameplay, one of the most exciting things is that you can play and earn CBX for free. So not just by playing, there's also opportunities within the community. But here you have a fishing mini game that has weekly rewards, and you don't need to own any assets or anything to come and play over here. It's an easy to play game, but a very hard to master. So it takes quite some time to build up the skills for this, but nevertheless, we've seen players coming up, making their way up, and improving their scores and winning CBX every week. So this is something that's there on a weekly basis, but there will also be private tournaments that you need to keep an eye out for, which won't be say a week long or anything like that. It will be quicker tournaments where you can play and win for free. And apart from that, there is also the jobs board that is there within the game that you can leverage. Jobs right now come from only one aspect of the game, which is asset mining. So there is limited supply of jobs currently because it's completely dependent on the demand for asset mining. But in the future, there will be more jobs being created when service economy gets implemented into other game loops. That's a process where how you can play and earn CBX for free. You'll just be helping out bigger farmers complete tasks on their farms, and they'll be paying you in CBX. It is one of the most sustainable play to earn mechanisms out there, and we've been able to take this out to the world, the system, through Tegronomics, which encodes a sustainable game economy, and a lot of new developers are leveraging this to build a sustainable game. So that's something very unique that you're being a part of. A lot more to come over there as well. It is very important to understand asset logics. So if you you need to understand how an asset works, what happens with an asset. Like, every asset takes something and it gives something, right? So for example, this red rooster over here, the red roosters in this barn are consuming so many corn feeds, so much water, and they're giving feather. So while getting into an asset, you have to understand that this is a requirement for an asset, in return of which you're getting an output from it. So you have to make necessary calculations before getting an asset. It's very important to understand that logic first. So that happens with any asset out there, which is animals, or be it machinery, or trees, croplands. Everything have some sort of input that they take, and also an output. So yeah. So you have to calculate that and make sure that you understand what asset do you need. And say for example you have gotten animals, so you have to also ensure that you are growing crops on your farm and you have enough water to feed them. Although you can get, sometimes you may be short of feed or you may be short of water, but you are able to get that from the market as well. But it's always advisable to produce most of the things on your farm to keep us to build a sustainable farm for the future. There are different types of assets, mainly animals. There is well gives you water, it consumes some amount of power. I'm assuming a new player might not jump into power production, so they might be getting power from the market. But there are players who own these solar panels and wind turbines that supply the power requirement for the economy, and you can find all of that in the market. You can get power from the market. Another important thing about your gameplay is that animals are the center of your farm. These are the most important assets on your farm, because the economy kind of revolves around the basic economy kind of revolves around the animals. The animals need to be fed every day. When you're done feeding them, they give you extracts which can be used to mine CBX. I'll show you that in the next section. But make sure that you're feeding your animals every day, because each time you miss a feed on a weekday, they lose 5% of their health. And on a weekend where they're consuming fruit feed, they would lose 10% if you fail to feed them on a Sunday. So it is important to feed your animals every day and keep them healthy and happy. Yeah, and each in case you have lost animal health, in case you could not feed on a certain day, that's okay. You can come back and feed them on the next day, and as you feed every day, your animal health improves. And you can also go ahead and boost your animal health. That's an option that's there over here. So you can go and burn some CBX and boost their health. So the cost of boosting the health is kind of similar to what you would end up spending, like how much requirement will be there to later like boost like increase your animal health. Say it would take 10 days for you to get your animal back to say 100 like 80%. So you can instead just do it immediately by just burning some CBX and bringing them back to health. So yeah, that's about the animals. So I also wanted to show you this farmland. This is the lake house. This is where the small well is placed. This is where the level 1 well is placed. Here you can place extended area on your farm where you can place more trees. These are all the animal sheds that are there. When you click on the shed, you'll find the animals and more information. A very important place on your farm is your barn. So you go here at the bottom and you go to the barn. This is where you will find all the information of the assets that you have. So it's very keep a track of what's happening over here. If in case something is not deployed on your farm, you can come and place it on your farm like this. Just click on deploy, and you can deploy more also if you have. So keep an eye out for the barn. You get all the information for regarding your assets. Moving on to the daily tasks that you have on the farm, like I said, farm feeding your animals should be on the top of your priority list, because it's very important. You can't keep the animals unhappy. If you take care of them, they love you back. They give you extracts and other things, and so it's really important to feed your animals. So think of it that this way: you have an animal, you want to feed it. So how much feed does it take? Do you have it in your farm? If you don't have it, get a stock for it, and make sure that over a period of time you're able to maintain the animal health. Apart from that, to keep the animals going, you have to grow crops, which can be done like you can place your croplands. You can get seeds from the store. You basically go to the shop and go to the seeds section, where you can get seeds and get plant you can plant corn, or you can also plant carrots. So carrots is something that is for a more advanced player, because that takes you to a deeper game loop of pro animals and everything like that. But if you're just getting started, corn is your go-to plant to crop to grow. So you can get corn seeds, you can get water and grow your crops. As you can see, this crop is ready to harvest. So you're basically, it takes a few hours to grow the crops, and you can come back, collect crops. So when you harvest, say a land of corn, you're getting corn crops. So you can't directly give your animals corn crop. You need to you have to convert that into animal feed. And to convert that to animal feed, you can send your harvested crops to the grinding mill. So if you come here, you have to select the amount of crops that you have, and select, okay, this is a test account, so the actual grinding will not happen, but you can select a feed mill over there, which is basically owned by other players, which will help you get your feed for the animal. So yeah, that's about getting feed for your animals. So once you fed your animals, you will get extracts from them, which can be used to generate CBX on your farm. So if you come here, you can come over here and select the number of assets that select the number of, so eggs, milks, truffles, all of these things you would have received from your animals, and you can directly convert them and get CBX out of them. So this is one way of doing it. You can also use this method where you're collectively using these extracts and getting the actual value plus some bonus, because you are burning them together and getting the CBX out. There is also other game loops where you can use your extracts like crafting items, but I'm not going to get into that. You will figure that out as you grow in the game. Anyways, that's the basics of running a farm, taking care of your farm. What are some of the things that you need to be vigilant about? You need to, have a strategy over here. So the most important thing, like I said, was to have the concept of a balanced farm. So like I said, every asset has an input and has an output. Even though you can depend on the market to some extent to get all your necessary things which is sold to you by other players, but the concept of a balanced farm is very important. So if you have certain number of animals, make sure that you're having enough croplands and trees and well to produce all the things that they need to be healthy, because they are the ones who are going to give you all the CBX that you need from the farm. That's one thing. Also, these are very easily tradable, flippable assets, because like I said, these are fungible assets. If you go to the market, you are able to very easily trade them, because you go to any market, you can easily find orders over there which will help you trade, say if you want to get an asset or sell it, you can do it quickly, which might not be the case with other NFTs in other games where you need to find a buyer for your particular NFT. But here you can easily trade them. So how can you use this to your advantage is basic fundamental analysis. Because this is an economy, it's a very dynamic place. There are things that affect this economy. One is the invisible hand of the collective activity of the farmers. Like collectively people do things, and it sort of affects the economy in a way. So you can get a sense of that by being active in the community, by knowing, by talking to players. You'll get a drift of what's happening. So you need to do this fundamental analysis to know what assets should you have, and that is important to not miss the train on anything big that's about to happen. So a feature is about to get released, so how do you think the player community will react to it? So you got to stay ahead of that learning curve and get the right asset at the right time to make the most out of your farm. And another more important thing is that there are a lot of things to be done over here. You can be a simple animal farmer. That is one strategy. You don't want to feed animals or get extracts from it. You can just be a cultivator where because all of these things give you crops and fruits which can be sold in the market. So that could be your source of income. So what it is that you want to do in the thing. So you could be an animal farmer, you could be just a cultivator, you could be only a crafter where your entire income comes through crafting items and selling it to players. that needed to grow their farms, right? So that could be pro mix and breed feed. You can get all these, you can put combine all of these extracts and fruits and everything to get pro mix, which can be sold to other players. You could be an asset miner. You could, you could be a trader in the game. There are a lot of activities. You could be simply, you could be a gamer who's just playing and earning and through all of these mini games, by being part of the CB army and things like that. So it is very important to for you to understand what is your niche in this economy, and you have to build your skills in that. You have your zone and you build your skill in that zone, and you master that, and then you move on to the next thing. So if you try to do everything all at once, like juggling all tasks and all strategies at once, the effect might be less. So you need to master things one at a time, because like I said, this is an economic simulator game. There are a lot of moving parts, and though you can do simple things over here, but you can also do complicated things over here. So it is very important to understand and find a zone and build on that, build your strategy to grow. There are more advanced, like I said, there are more advanced things like trading is a skill of its own. There are, you could become an expert trader, and you can read charts and implement strategies and technical analysis and things like that to grow in the market. Like, you may not even be playing the game altogether, but you're just using the market and your skills to grow. And come to think about it, it is easier to do it in CropBytes because the markets are highly liquid. You do not wait to trade assets over here, and everything that's affecting the markets is happening within the community. So you are at one hand, you're just at very close proximity to things that are happening within the community, right? So it's not like how it is in the global crypto markets outside, where you need to know a lot of things. A lot more things is happening in the world that you need to master to get your right strategy in global crypto markets. But within the CropBytes market, you are very much close and close proximity with everything that's happening. So it's much easier for you to come and build your strategies and grow in the market. We have seen this in the CropBytes economy already, wherein there is a dedicated trader class who don't do other things in the game. Rather, they're just focused on trading. They're in the community, they're silently listening to everything that's happening. They're observing the numbers and things like that, and making moves in the market. And they end up providing liquidity for other farmers, simple farmers who want to get things right from the market. So that's one thing. Asset mining, asset crafting, superheroes is something that really advanced players and pro players get into. Superheroes have a lot of things coming out. Like I said earlier, superheroes, there are different generations of superheroes. These are poised to be NFTs in the future. So I wouldn't recommend new players really jumping into that, but yes, it is another big section in the game which you need to understand the game really well. Speak to expert farmers and pro farmers before you get into superheroes. But yes, a lot more is gonna come for the superheroes. Also, the pro animals is also another class of animals that are non-tradable at the moment, but they serve particular utility in the game economy. So that is something that you can learn about and get into. The most important thing ultimately at the end of the day is, when you're part of an economy, you have to be very close to the members of this economy. Like, if you are in a silo and you are not focusing on what's happening in the community, what's happening with the game, if you're not connecting with the developers, you're not at a very advantageous position. You will, obviously you can continue your farming activities and everything, but make sure to be an active member in the community. Make sure to contribute, learn from expert players, and build your skills. A CB army is a great place to be, where there are team leaders who have specific small teams, and everybody helps each other grow in those small teams. So, and also the main chats in the community, where you can learn and grow from, you can learn from other players and grow. Yeah, that's it. That's the kind of things that I wanted to tell Please let me know if you have any questions.